All right, welcome into Extra Time.
What happened?
Our director, Mike, killed the Man United chatter on the show today. There was just too much more to talk about. Why do we want to talk about United again?
Yeah, we don't.
No, we don't.
Oh, well.
I mean, we'll probably, maybe tomorrow. There's some interesting manager odds.
Well, no,
You started it.
That's true, I did.
Yeah.
Can't help it, can I?
No.
Can't help it, can I?
It wouldn't be a show without a bit of
Man United.
bashing, yeah.
Well, you did bring them in a little bit in our Champions League chat when we were talking about Osimhen and teams that needed a striker.
Well, all we know is they need to, they'll need to beat Sunderland at home at the weekend.
Ooh, because it could be good night, sweet prince for Ruben Amorim. All right, let's get into the questions. Craig, this first one's for you. Liverpool brings you on as a midfielder consultant to find a solution so that Wirtz can perform for the club. What advice or solutions are you giving them?
Solutions?
I suppose what advice would you give given the current situation with Wirtz at Liverpool?
Play your players in your best position. And if that means leaving people out, it means leaving people out. If that means leaving Florian Wirtz out, that means leaving him out. But play your players where you're going to give them the best chance. Szoboszlai, we saw him again at right back. He's a willing participant. But he's the captain of his country as a midfielder. He's a goal-scoring midfielder. He does a little bit of everything. I mean, that's the only thing I would.
I think the
say.
Szoboszlai one 100% makes you think that he's trying to shoo people in just because, as opposed to what you're talking about there. As opposed to right, this is what we are. This is where you play. This is where you live. But the fact that you've got two guys, one that you actually bought to play fullback, another one in Bradley, who absolutely you can rely on as a fullback, but you're playing Szoboszlai ahead of both of them to shoehorn them in. That's I don't like that.
Robbo, I know Craig was the one that they asked for advice, but I always love some advice from you. What advice would you give Liverpool to deal with the Wirtz situation?
Well, I was just going to add another thing to it rather than give advice. He bought Frimpong, because Craig's talking about shoehorning people in. Frimpong played as a right wing back for Bayer Leverkusen, so he never really plays a right back or a right wing. He plays a right wing back, and Liverpool don't play with a right wing back, so they bought a player that they don't have a position for. And Florian Wirtz often played in a sort of inside left or inside right position, not in the number 10 role or not really out wide. So again, they've bought a player and they're trying to now change their formation or their system to suit the players, or the players are brought in to play another role. So it's not working for them at the moment. So again, he's got to find a system that works for the team, get a system that works for the individual players, and stick with it for a few weeks to see whether they can get some sort of continuity. Because at the moment, as Stevie has said many times, they lack cohesion.
At Bayer Leverkusen, the year they won the title, not last year, he shaped everything around Wirtz. I mean, even last year when they weren't as successful, if you look at the times Wirtz was out the team injured, he would sometimes change the whole shape of the team. He'd play a three at the back, as Robbo said, with wing backs, and depending on Wirtz's availability, sometimes he'd play a four, and he'd chop and change the midfield, and everything revolved around Florian Wirtz. But this Liverpool team's not built to be all around one guy.
Yeah.
It's had its success as a unit, both under Klopp, but especially last year under Arne Slot, where they were still very good to watch, but they were much more compact defensively, and they've completely got away from that. And it can only be because of the new personnel that have come in. Obviously, the fullbacks are struggling at the moment, but B, when you change the dynamics of the middle of the park, then the protection for your back four changes. It just does.
There's none now, right?
There's not a lot now.
No.
And that's putting pressure on Konate and Van Dijk, and they're now relying on two less experienced fullbacks to help out. So it's a tough situation for them. But they're in a pretty good position, considering. But if you've watched all the games rather than just picked up a league table and looked at, Liverpool, if you'd actually watched the games, it's been a struggle.
All right, next question.
Just add another thing there. Sorry, just to add another thing there. We've been saying how good Gravenberch has been over the last year and a half, and how well he started the season. He was one of the players that was doing well. Not tonight. That was one of the problems they had tonight in the game, that Gravenberch gave the ball away. He didn't seem to be athletic enough this time to get around the pitch to cover the full-back space. So that was a big worry, I would say, from tonight's match. Gravenberch didn't play as well as he has been.
All right, next question then. How difficult is it to play on an artificial surface when you normally play on grass like Spurs today?
Different game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that artificial in Norway because of the weather?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But the hybrid pitches they have now, like they have here in the US, they're certainly 100 times better than some of the stuff that we had to play on at Loftus Road, QPR, or Kenilworth Road, Luton Town back in the day. They were proper artificial pitches. They were horrible. I think today's is much, much better, but Stevie's still not the same as playing on a good grass
They're much, much better, but the fundamentals of the game change. The ball bounces differently completely. I mean, so basically when it bounces, usually when you're playing on a grass surface, they're not all exactly the same, but we're talking, minute differences. When you're playing it on an artificial surface, it's a completely different ball game. So straight away, you're under the pressure with that. Striking a ball is harder on an artificial surf. You have to strike it in a different manner. So basically, when you step on an artificial turf, you're going away from all the things that you're used to. Just like landing on another planet, quite frankly.
Goal celebration.
And then of course, you stick it on top of a grass field. It's even worse. So, yeah, proper games should not be played on artificial turf.
But they can't help it over there because
it's Norway.
Like, just to get the games played because of the weather.
Take this one up.
Kick them out.
Kick them out. Kick them out of the Champions League. I don't think Jan will be too happy with that. Next question is for Robbo. Robbo, you were always one to criticize Haaland's involvement in games and general link-up play last season. Thoughts on his clear improvement as an all-around striker this season?
Absolutely. I've been saying many, many times, come on, he's got to get involved. I've watched him closely and he's made no effort to show for the ball. He's when the ball's been played long, he's lost the duels against the centre-halves, and Man City haven't been able to go and join him. This season, he's been different. He's looked hungrier to get on the ball. He's made better runs. He's been stronger with his back to goal. He's won more balls in the air, and he now looks like the world-class striker that he should be. So, much, much better from him this season. It's really good.
But they've also, Arsenal game apart, where they did a lot of defending, they've also got it forward a bit quicker this year, Man City. I mean, there's still a little bit of playing out from the back, but there's more going forward, longer, earlier and quicker, and that at least gives him, because it wasn't, I do agree with Robbo, but it wasn't always him. Sometimes as a striker. I mean, Gyökeres has had a little bit of that at Arsenal where, you can see him making runs, trying to bend his runs to get in the little channel between the full-back and the centre-half, and they're going from side to side to side. It's quite frustrating as a front man.
Yeah, because you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
You just don't know when the ball's going to come.
All right, well, final question, and it's for Stevie.
Yes.
For Stevie, I've asked this question before, and I'll ask it again after the last two results. Any similarities between Slot's current setup and Erik ten Hag's midfield setup when he was at United? Both were easy to cut open. Craig's looking intently.
Hold on, I'm just trying to work out in what universe the league title winning Liverpool team from last year with the same personnel with an added extra in Wirtz is compared
to Erik ten Hag's Manchester United.
Yeah. But I get the question.
The only similarities they have right now between Liverpool now and ten Hag's then is the midfield are not together and don't really seem to be able to know and figure out what each other are doing. That would be the only similarity between the two. Because Erik ten Hag's never at any stage figured it out, whereas Liverpool did figure it out and won the title. Just haven't done it yet this year.
The only similarity is that they've both had some issues in that area. United for a long period, Liverpool for a short period. That's where it ends, because Liverpool have very, very good players in that position that have shown they can be the best in the league, whereas Man United do not and continue to not have that.
Robbo, final word on this before we wrap?
Yeah, there's no comparison at all. When you think that they had Casemiro and Eriksen at one point in central midfield who couldn't run at all, and Bruno Fernandes trying to join them that can't defend or doesn't want to defend, you can't compare that with the Liverpool side who on their day have still got good athletes and people that want to close the ball down. It's just not quite happening for them at the moment.
All right, well, that's it. That's the end of the questions. Thanks to everyone for sending them.
Yeah, thanks.
Stevie and I have earned a day off tomorrow, haven't we, Stevie?
I think so.
I think so.
Back
but Craig
again.
Burley will be back.
PSG Barcelona tomorrow.
PSG Barcelona tomorrow.
No Tottenham Bodo Glimt. Oh, thank God
geez.
for that.
Hopefully that one will make you, I suppose, stay awake a bit more during the games, right?
I beg your pardon.
Or you won't need 4 cups of tea.
Thank you, manager, for throwing me under the bus.